Due to suggestive adult themes and dialogue, this podcast is intended for adults. In other words, the truth is ugly, so we get ugly right along with it. Everything we say is out of love for ourselves, our people, and our community. Sincerely, the Green Route Podcast.
And stop the damn dancing! Act like you got some goddamn sense, people!
Black people don't hope, we wish. We wish a motherfucker would be in our shit.
As far as I'm concerned, they could burn this bitch to the ground. And it still wouldn't be enough. And they are lucky that what black people are looking for is equality and not revenge.
All right, y'all. I want to welcome y'all to the Green Route Podcast, episode number 14.
Yeah.
Episode 14. We're in the double digits, y'all. I am GS.
And I'm Marlissa. What's up, y'all?
Oh, man. So we got a few things we're going to do. Again, we're going to do a 30-minute session. Mm-hmm. So we're going to see how this rolls. Y'all ready? Let's go.
We got to bounce in real quick. All right, so let me hit y'all with the rundown real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Water main failure in Michigan.
Damn.
We're going to talk about that, but also on the back end, like the lead situation and studies that are coming out about why black children in particular have been scoring lower on exams when being exposed to lead. Liz Cheney and Lisa Murkowski, the Trump documents. That's some funny shit right there.
That's some shit.
And then Brittany Griner found guilty. We'll talk about what's going on in her case. I think we're in step 2 right now, trying to get her back. And then Afghanistan, it's a bunch of shit going on out there, but specifically potentially slipping into like 90% of the folks there in poverty and possible war crimes, which I don't think we're surprised about.
We're not that
given
surprised.
That we've been over there for a long time.
We're not that surprised.
But yeah, so that's our rundown, and then we'll do a check-in and we're gonna get y'all out of here.
Let's do it.
All right, so you want to hop in on the water main failure?
Okay, so what's going on in Michigan? They had a really huge pipe that burst, and it happened to be one of the main lines. And as a result, they had millions of people on alert having to boil their water. Now, this is Michigan. This is the same place, the same state that has Flint.
Yep.
They have purposely made decisions that have been harmful to the people in those cities in regards to the water. This happens to be an accident that's being harmful to them. So I'm not sure what we're going to call that. But it's one of those situations where it's like anything bad can happen, but it only sucks even more because y'all have actively allowed certain bad things to happen.
So with the water main break, like, what do you know about the fix? How long is it taking them to actually?
I think they're working on it right now.
Okay.
So
better than Flint.
So way better than Flint. So
Okay.
they should have that up by next week.
Okay.
It's just crazy that it's affecting so many people.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to point out, so when GS sent me this, I thought about another story that I had just heard of where a study, they studied 26,000 school children, some of which have been exposed to lead, and come to find out that lead does exactly what the fuck we thought it did.
Yes.
And affects these kids' brain development. And so now they're realizing that contamination, exposure to pollution, plus systemic racism, which we know plays a role in just about everything in this country. Shout out to the 1619 Project. Are affecting our kids and their ability to do well in school, their test scores, their ability to learn. And so now they're actually saying, like, no, there is a scientific connection between what our kids are exposed to and how they perform in the classroom. Now, I know you're an educator, so there's a whole skew of things that affect why our kids perform the way that they do, including cultural relevance, the way our children learn, all of that. But this is just one more strike against them.
Absolutely. It's one of those things where it's like they're already aware of the hazards of certain environments, of certain situations that children can be in that can inhibit their learning, but now they're learning more about how they're being poisoned, and that is affecting them in a whole different kind of way.
Yeah.
We're talking about brain development.
Right.
We're talking about your cognitive functioning, all of that. So now that we have a better understanding, it's time to test kids. It's time to test kids. How much lead when you think about our communities, how much lead is in the blood of our children? We need to know that.
That's real. I remember some friends back in LA who got exposed to lead when we were kids. And when I moved into my house, so, you know, I live in Oak Cliff on purpose. And I tested my water when I moved into my house for that reason. So, yeah, I'm definitely with you there. So, any last thoughts on this one?
Honestly, this is something that needs federal, national attention. We already know that pollution within communities is a real thing. For whatever reason, black communities, there's actually an interesting documentary on Vice that talks about community pollution, and it's how like certain cities have been overexposed to pollutants, toxins, all kinds of stuff, but nothing has changed. Like, it's in some places there where kids can't even play in the grass. They have signs. Jeez. So this has already been a problem within our communities. But what it's looking like is, because it's in our communities, they're not paying it as much attention, giving it as much seriousness. Yep. So that's my point. That's my thought on it.
No, that's all a good point. And I guess the last thing I would say on this is not new news, y'all. Like, anybody who grew up in the inner city of any state, any city, any region, like, you know that they dump on our community. So that's where the wastewater treatment facilities are going to be. That's where a lot of, the 18-wheelers are going to house. And so when you really think about where they put that type of very high industrial type shit, it's always near our communities. Always. Hence why we have higher rates of asthma, why we have higher rates of
cancer.
I've been there. So literally it's a thing. And I think they call it environmental racism, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I think there's a term for it now.
I think that might be it right there.
So there's more of that shit going on in America. America the ghetto.
America the ghetto, indeed.
All right. So topic 2, Liz Cheney. Tell me what you know. So one thing I'll start off with is I've been seeing Liz Cheney for president 2024? Question mark. Tell me what you know.
All right. So for whatever reason, it's shown that her base isn't in agreement with her pursuing Trump and everything that's been going on with this January 6th commission. She was one of the few Republicans who chose to step up and speak up and speak out and call the shit exactly what it is. She was calling, she was naming and claiming it.
A black spade.
She was calling a spade a spade.
Okay.
And what we know about Trump's base is, one, they're large in numbers. Millions of them voted for him again. So clearly they feel like he's their guy.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean that they will follow him blindly. And anyone who's against him, they will be against, even again, if it's against their own best interest.
Well, now they're calling them rhinos, right? So they're starting to turn against their own by, like, putting this separation between hardcore Trumpsters and then what they're now calling rhinos, Republican in name only.
Republicans in name only. So basically, if you don't follow Trump, if you don't follow the lies, things that have been proven over and proven false, you might be considered a rhino.
Yeah.
They're not opening themselves up for that space to grow, or at least that space to adjust to other groups, which is usually a sign that a party or a group is going to die or is going to fade away. When you cannot adjust to the growing demo of your base, it only spells disaster in the end. I
mean, it, like, Trump almost has his own party now. Like, that's how different they're becoming. And a couple months ago, I met with a local politician here. He is a conservative, but he wasn't necessarily a never Trumper, but he just didn't support Trump in the way that Trump likes to be supported, like that blind loyalty. And he lost his election because of that, because his base was just like, hold on, like, if you're not supporting our God, really, like our deity at this point, we don't really want nothing to do with you. And so he ended up having to get, like, a corporate job because he couldn't get a political job anymore. Yeah.
I'll tell y'all this, and I'm gonna say this here now. This is a very bold statement. Call me conspiracy theorist if you want, but the next, for sure, militant terrorist group that's going to terrorize America, that's really going to cause problems to America, it's not going to be Al-Qaeda, it's not going to be any of these groups. They're going to be white nationalists.
I think we're seeing it now, though.
We already seeing hints of it.
Yeah.
They are organizing right now. Yeah. They are refusing to go with the small changes. Again, these ain't even major changes. Black and brown people are still suffering in this country. We're still going through hell. We still dealing with shit. So it's not even that. It's the fact that for a few more people, it's becoming a little bit fairer. It's becoming a little more even-handed. And more people are kind of holding people accountable because they realize, like, this shit it's on the news. Like, you're tweeting this, you're making these statements. Donald Trump There's a clip that's going around where Donald Trump was like, if you mishandle governmental documents and all that, I am increasing the amount of time you go to jail. Everyone deserves to be held accountable.
Perfect.
And under him, he did call for harder consequences for that. So,
and I mean, we already retrieved 15 boxes from his house plus a few more from the raid. So
if you actually think he took them home to read,
we already know that man don't read.
We're talking about some decapod. What did he say? What kind of shit he be saying?
2 Corinthians.
2 Corinthians.
We know he don't read.
He is not on the Reading Rainbow show. He's not. That.
Shout out to LeVar Burton. Get your man right. Get your man right, LeVar.
If you don't think he was selling that shit like pills, like if you don't think he was selling that information,
he had a trench coat on. He just was out here talking to the Russian government.
He just was like, "Look, it's here. What y'all want me to get?
I got new codes.
I got some shit y'all might want.
Yeah.
Some shit y'all might need." So I wouldn't be surprised if this plays out with Russia.
Y'all, this is okay. I hate to throw this word around, but I think we need to throw it around. Like, we have seen this man completely commit treason on several fronts at this point, and I genuinely do not understand what it is going to take to like put him in prison. I don't get it.
My final thoughts on this one. I don't know either what it's gonna take. He has shown us he has hollowed out any kind of of course my apologies.
I'm like, damn.
My bad. I'm tripping. He has hollowed out, like, we already knew a lot of these folks are full of shit. Like, we've been calling pro-life folks full of shit for the longest because, again, they all about kids being born but not really taking care of them.
Yeah.
So
they're pro-birth, not pro-life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they have shown themselves right now. They're showing themselves right now that they are a Halloween party and that they're willing to follow blindly someone who goes against everything they've always stood for. So again, he's made ethical, moral, political, all kinds of shit, all kinds of errors.
Yeah.
And they're still standing by him. So
I mean, they pretty much said fuck the police at this point.
Like, they want to defund the FBI, but we got to move.
Yeah, we got to move on. But I'm just saying, it was Blue Lives Matter. Now it's you don't get the fuck out of my way, I'm gonna kill you.
Exactly.
It's crazy. Yeah.
So yeah.
Sunshine, sunshine, tell me where